I just made a video probably a couple days ago about how I get guarded people to open up, and I added two more things to this that are incredibly crucial, and this is literally the formula right here. So watch that other video for a deeper dive, but this is specifically the two things that are going to cause somebody who's guarded to feel safe opening up with them, opening up with you, okay? Number one, it's can you be trusted, okay? These are a bunch of tactics that we can use, but it really just comes down to can you be trusted, all right? Deep down, I would almost say on a spiritual level, people know if you can be trusted or not. And if there's any sort of malintention that you have, guarded people they have some sort of radar that is significantly more sensitive than other people's, and any imperfection that you have is going to be probably detected. That's how I would describe it, okay? So deep down, when you look in the mirror, can you say, can I be trusted? Okay? And here's how to determine if I can be trusted, okay? Why should a guarded person open up with me, okay? Number one is no gossip, and number two is no ego. These are the two things that you need to really figure out, okay? Do I have an ego? So when this person who's guarded shares something about themselves with me, am I going to be like, oh my God, this person's disgusting? Or am I going to come from a place of compassion and empathy and understand? Am I going to come up and be like, oh my God, what a loser? Or am I going to come from a state of, okay, well, hey, we all got problems, all right? I've done a bunch of shitty stuff. I've got problems. I totally understand you got problems. You just have different problems than me, okay? So that ego, you need to have this humble standpoint of, look, I know that I am not any better than this person. I am just from a standpoint, like we're all human. We all make mistakes. We are all from the same creator. We are all the same blood. And we do different things, okay? And we have bad habits. We have bad experiences. We do bad things occasionally. And the reality is the more we realize that, and the more we have empathy for other people, and the more we realize that we're not any better than them just because they did a different bad thing than us, is pretty crucial here, okay? So any sort of ego that I have where I'm like, oh my God, that person's such a loser, or oh my God, what an asshole, okay? So any sort of like negative, like we have negative thoughts that want to project onto this person. Our ego, when left unchecked, is going to go and just tell us negative thoughts about this person, okay? And we can choose to believe that, or we can choose to not believe that, okay? When we let our ego out of check, it's going to think a bunch of prideful thoughts about how much better we are than them, or let's highlight all of their shortcomings in life and forget about all of our shortcomings, okay? So we need to just have no ego, okay? You have to get to a point where you're as little ego as possible, okay? And I don't know if it sends a signal to the universe that tells everyone, hey, this person has no ego, it's safe to open up with them. But people, in order to have human connection, people need somebody to open up and be vulnerable with. So when you are the person that is safe, where they know that you're not going to judge them, you're not going to make fun of them, they can open up with you, okay? You're not going to share this information, so no ego, and ego is the root of gossip. No gossip. Oh man, Jerry was just telling me about his problem. What a loser, okay? We absolutely cannot be doing any of that. I want you, for the next couple of years, it may take a few years, and I'm not 100% perfect with this, but I've really been disciplined. I try my best 99% of the time. I don't want any negative words to come out of my mouth about somebody else. All right? I fail at this sometimes, occasionally. But the best way that we can do this is you got to train yourself to not gossip, not say, and not slander, not say anything negative about any other person ever. I don't care what they did. We gotta really train ourselves to just not say negative things about someone. And that's gonna kind of, I would say, almost, if you want to put it, change your vibration or change your inner state. When we have no ego and we don't gossip about people, it basically sends a signal to other people, hey, this person can be trusted. All right. For some reason, I'll give you an example. I was at the beach, just at the beach with a buddy, and some random person just came up to us and just started confessing. Like, I'm telling you, I've never met this person before. It was a complete stranger. And they just started confessing some of their problems to us, okay? And we didn't ask for it, but I would say that the fact that we don't say anything negative and we didn't have any ego against him, he was able to basically kind of get free from those problems that he was having because he felt safe. And we were able to give him some tips and at that moment, pray for him or whatever. But because we had no ego and no gossip about it, like, we were just completely, I guess he just had some signal for some reason, hey, you can open up to us. So he did. And I think he felt leaving really good about, the experience that he had. So that's just a personal testimony of kind of what has happened in my life. But I've had people tell me a lot of things and I don't even ask, okay? If you want to know, they're not going to tell you. If you want to know about them, they're not going to tell you. I have to basically have no ego, no gossip, and I also have to just not need to know. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about your business. I don't need to know about your business. If I don't want or need to know about your business, I don't judge you and I don't tell anyone else about what you told me, then that's pretty much the formula for getting guarded people to open up, okay? And I just want to end with this. When you are this type of person, you get to see the real people. You don't get to see a facade. You get to see the real person. The real person. And what I want to share with you is that a real person with flaws is so much more of a fulfilling connection than an awesome person that is a facade, or an awesome person that is not necessarily being vulnerable. They're just showing you all the good stuff. I personally I'd rather see a person that has flaws, isn't perfect, makes mistakes, but they're authentic, than somebody who thinks that they're so good and shares about all the good things that happen in their life and doesn't talk about the bad thoughts that they have or the negative experiences. Like, I think that that's where the bond really is solidified with some of your closest friends, when they can just say, look, dude, I'm really I'm really having a hard time emotionally about this. When you can just say, like, hey, by the way, I don't have my shit together. And that goes for me as a person, for real. I'm a human being. I know some things, but I make mistakes. This formula that I've made for you guys, and you can watch the rest in the other video, is because I've made these mistakes and I've had to learn about them. I get negative consequences if I say anything about somebody negatively. I don't want to have an ego. Sometimes I do have an ego, and I got to get myself in check. No slandering. So I experience these things. I try to be vulnerable with you guys. And And that's how I know all this stuff, because I've had to make the wrong decisions sometimes and correct myself. Okay, so some of my best friends are probably my best friends because people are sick. People are sick of talking about fucking sports, dude. They're sick about sports. They're sick about the weather. They're sick about talking about politics. They want to talk, they want to have real, genuine human connection. Okay? That's what people want, genuine human connection. Okay? And when all of us are guarded to some extent, and by everyone working on not gossiping and having no ego, no judgment, all of that good stuff, we can have better relationships and have a more fulfilling experience in this reality. Have a wonderful day, guys.